Morning. Storm imaging today, and an update on the Peugeot and what I've been up to. A bit of an apology that I haven't posted for quite some time. There have been various reasons for that, not least the fact that I've been pretty busy at work. The weather's been pretty crap. Most of my riding's done first thing in the morning and late or in the evening, and it's basically dark, so there hasn't really been a huge amount of point in doing much vlogging, etc. I've got a new setup at the moment which I'm trying out. I've got a Drift Ghost S, which I got refurbed from the store. Why did I buy that? I just got a bit fed up with the Sony's mounting on the side of the helmet and the casing, which I'd had to modify to plug a mic into. It kept fogging up, etc., and it was just becoming a pain in the backside, to be honest with you. So I decided to give the Drift Ghost S a go. It seemed to be the only cam out there where, well, not the only one, but it seemed to be the one that a lot of riders use. There must be a reason for it. It's practical in terms of the fact that it doesn't need a case for general use. It's got a mic input. It just seemed to tick all the boxes. Anyway, I digress. The trike, I should say, has done just over 9,000 miles now, and I've ridden it in every sort of condition you'd care to mention. In the rain, in the wind, in the ice. I've not yet ridden it in the snow. We've not had any snow down here. That was going to be the big question mark for me, whether I'd venture out if we had snow on the roads. And it's worked absolutely brilliantly the whole way through. I've not had any real issues with it. The only teething problem I've had is with one of the servos on the rear boot. So just a bit dicky now and then, which I think is a bit of a. They've had issues with the servos on those. Doesn't always release. You sometimes have to actually open the boot rather than it releasing and opening. I mean, that's not a major one as far as I'm concerned. I've had one major service, apart from obviously the initial service, which I had done at 6,000 miles, which was quite expensive. I don't think any more expensive than MP3 would have been. I had new belt, rollers, oil filter, brakes front and back. In fact, I had some upgraded brakes. The old ones were squeaking a bit, and a new rear tyre, and that lot came to 600 quid basically. I've since also replaced the front two tyres at just over 8,000 miles, about 8.5. That was about 110 quid. So definitely not the cheapest, but that's not why I bought this bike. I didn't buy this bike for cheap servicing, or trike for cheap servicing. I bought it for days like today, to be honest with you, where it's really windy, wet, rain. It's the bike that I feel totally comfortable on. Practicality wise, I can get a tennis racket in under my seat, for goodness sakes. I can get shopping in the boot. I've got space between my legs there where I can put a shopping bag. Not very hip, I know, not very cool, but if anybody out there is considering getting one of these as an alternative to a second car, for instance, you know, as a commute and an alternative, that's basically what we've done. We have got 2 cars and one of them's going. Basically, the decision was made that our second car, which was our big family car, which was basically sat on the drive the whole time, getting expensive now at the expensive stage from a repair point of view, we decided not to bother replacing it. But I have got another bike. So why have I done that? I've done that because I still need to scratch the itch, and the itch is that I need my full bike license. I want my full bike license. I've always wanted my full bike license. My CBT is up at the end of October. I don't need it to ride this trike, but I still want to go through the process. I still want to get my full bike license, and then I'm going to think about what I want to do. I basically think I'm going to end up keeping the Metropolis for another year or 2, because it's just so goddamn practical. It really is. I just every time I'm looking at other bikes that I would replace it with, 2-wheel bikes. I mean, right at the top of the list, and this was there anyway before I started my journey, is the Honda NCX or NC750S or X, whichever model you prefer, mainly because it's got fantastic MPG, great service intervals, and it's got a boot basically in the front where you think the petrol tank is actually a storage area. Plus, you know, you can put panniers on it, etc. So it's not quite an adventure bike as you know, in the sense of it, but it gives you options, and that's really important to me. I mean, I need my daily ride to be functioning and fun, really. I mean, to be honest with you, that's why I started this whole adventure. So it's been pretty grim weather in the last month or 2. We've not had many sunny days. It's been really windy, plenty of rain, and the Peugeot's performed great. The protection you get is really good. The weight of the bike really helps in these conditions. So the long-term plan is the short to medium-term plan is to keep hold of the Peugeot, keep using that as my daily commute. Hopefully when the weather gets better, I will use my Yamaha for the odd ride into work if the weather's nice, and practice over the next 2 or 3 months, and then do my full bike license. In that period of time, hopefully I will then have also managed to work out what it is I want from the bike, in terms of the second bike, if I actually carry on maintaining 2 bikes. Will I end up getting something like an MT-07 or even the 03 that's just come out as kind of my sort of weekend fun bike? Or would I go more down the route of the NC750 or the V-Strom 650, with a view to potentially doing a bit of touring, etc. I mean, ultimately a tour around Europe is something that I'd quite consider. Pretty windy today. It's Monday morning, it's quiet. Obviously a lot of people have decided to work from home today. Not an option for me really, at least not the majority of time. Been following Peugeot on 2 wheels, Portuguese vlogger, does quite a lot of bike tests. He's had an NC700, and he seems pretty happy with it. I think they get accused of being a little bit dull in terms of the fact that the rev range is quite limited. I think it's 6,000. It maxes out at 6,000 or something like that. So you're spending most of your time in the 2,000 to 3,000 range. But I mean, ultimately, I think that's probably not a bad thing in terms of being a next step up in terms of the bike. It's not a crazy fast bike, and in all honesty, I don't think that's really not what I'm after. I'm not after mad speed. I've seen some real idiots on the road, as you do with car drivers obviously, and cyclists. I've seen some complete idiots on bikes. I just think I'm past that stage. That's not what I'm looking for. Which is kind of why this trikes really work for me, because it's quick enough. It's as fast as your average car. You can know it's not going to accelerate on a, it's not going to do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. But you can accelerate past the car. You can overtake if you need to. It kind of, I think the problem you've got, and I think the argument always with the whole you've got the power to get out of trouble is, it's very true. I do believe that that's a big factor, but I also believe that when you have a lot of power, the temptation is there to use it a lot as well. I mean, obviously therein lies the skill of the rider and the experience and I'm not going to I'm not going to try and preach to anyone and say you don't need power on a motorcycle. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that riding the Metropolis basically you know, it puts you in a certain mind frame and mindset that I don't have to get past everybody. You know, I can filter past people when I need to. I can overtake someone when they're really slow, when they're slow. But I don't have, it's not me against the world. It's not me against like everybody else. Which is, I could see that if you're on a really fast machine, that would be a factor, definitely. So I had a couple of, not a couple, I had a pretty kind of fairly negative comment from somebody on one of my, it was actually, I think it was in reaction to my first vlog on the Yamaha Tri-City. I ended up deleting them, to be honest with you, which probably isn't ethically right, I don't know. It just pissed me off so much. The guy completely misunderstood where I was coming from, and turned it really personal really quickly, and I just couldn't be bothered with it. Basically implying that I was a fool. Bikes were never designed to do more than 3,000 miles a year, and I should be riding around in a car. And he just didn't get at all what I was saying. I actually asked him if he'd actually listened to what I'd been saying. I'm not preaching to anybody about what they should or shouldn't do. I made a choice to commute by bike, by motorcycle or trike purely from a convenience point of view. From a, you know, my time is precious in terms of my day, and not wanting to spend any longer than I had to in a car or a train. In actual fact, to even spend the commute time I had enjoying myself, which is what I do. I mean, that's the bottom line. Even when it's like today, this is the thing that's, you know, it is. This weekend has been pretty awful with rain and wind, and today is supposed to be, you know, weather warnings everywhere. I've been looking for. I look forward to getting on my bike this morning. And I mean, that's basically that's the bottom line. You wear the right gear, and we've had a pretty mild winter. I mean, we've had an incredibly mild winter, to be honest with you. I've not really been cold on the bike at all. Even when it was -5 one morning, I was still fine. I mean, that's been the exception. We've had one morning where it was -5. Most of the time it's been in the, you know, 4, 5, 6 degrees, you know, which is fine. The rain's been a little bit of a downer, to be fair. But even the rain doesn't bother me that much, to be honest with you. You're pretty protected on one of these.